hello and welcome to this week's hobby stream. We are back with a relatively full team today. Jay, you are back from your holidays, literally today.
Hello.
How is it going?
Yes, today. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How's everyone?
Yeah, good, good. I've had a productive day building lots of Stormcast. Which is
Quite
just as well,
timely.
really, because the new Stormcast Battle Team is up for pre-order next Saturday, so that is exciting. Jay, you look like you're building something.
Yeah, I'm a bit worn out, so I don't think I can handle a paintbrush and paints just now. So I thought I'd attempt my next dreadknight build. And the first dreadknight I built, I chopped up quite a lot and repositioned the legs and arms and things. And I want to do something similar to this one. So I'm working on my second dreadknight.
Excellent. Cool. You did quite a bit of conversion work on the first one, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Dreadknight models. They were quite unique when they first came out. They look a bit small now compared to like Redemptor Dreadnoughts and whatnot. But they were quite a cool sort of almost Matrixy type avatar type sort of quite. They look like they mean business. You know, there's no frills on them, is there? You can see all the pipes and hydraulics and all that sort of thing. And I do like a bit aliensy. Do you know, with
the power loader. I think it's safe to say they're a bit Marmite, weren't they, when they came out?
They were, yeah, and I think the pose, because unlike the Redemptor Dreadnought is a good comparison, really. There's lots of ball joints and things on the Redemptor Dreadnought that you can twist round and pose and leave the power fist up and things like this. On the Dreadknights, there's not much room for posability. All of the things sort of slot in, so he's standing quite upright in position with his arms in quite a static pose, which I don't think helped. So on my first dreadknight, I chopped all like the cables away and cut the knee joints off and the shins off and at the hips and things and on the arms and elbows, used a bit of green stuff. And I was able to get a bit more of a dynamic pose where he looks like he's bracing himself and swinging his sword back. With this one, I want this one to have two heavy weapons, and I want him to sort of be slowly walking, like purposefully walking forward, blasting with his cannon in front of him, I think. If that's achievable, we'll see.
Okay,
but that's awesome. What I'm going to try and go for.
Cool. Do a quick shout out to Hoss00312, who has just followed us. Thank you for following. If anyone is watching along at home, what are you guys painting? Are you having a productive hobby day? So it's not just Jay on today. Andy is also here. How are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Matt.
What are you working on? How is the WAR going?
The WAR is definitely getting there. It's definitely gaining some momentum.
Excellent.
We've managed to get everything built. Managed to get most of everything primed for when we go Warhammer World. The only thing I haven't been able to get primed is a truck. Unfortunately, the battle wagon, the killer cans, and the mega knobs used up the last of my lead belcher.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's not great, but I've currently
got any I could lend you.
I might have a spare pot, Andy, if you need some emergency lead belcher.
No, it's not like a major issue. I appreciate the offer though. I'll probably add it to my wish list for when we go Warhammer World.
Yeah, they tend to be expensive, don't they? Shout out to Craig Sinclair, who's in the chat. Evening all. How are you doing, Craig? And Fabius Fulgrim watching live over on Twitch. How's it going? First time I've been able to make it live for a while. How are we all? It's been a bit sporadic, unfortunately, over the last couple of weeks with holidays and stuff. But I think, bar Dave then being away next week, I think we are more or less back in action, aren't we?
Yeah, August is a funny month. There's a lot of birthdays for me in August, and obviously school holidays and normal holidays and things. So yeah, it's back to normality for me now. So
yeah, hopefully we should be back on the game streams as well next week, if any of you guys are free.
When are we Saturday? Yeah, I'll be free.
So we'll see what armies we can rustle together for that. We've got Shaken Bones also watching, working on their Dalak Psygeist. I saw Shaken Bones' Dalak over on Instagram. Looks really cool. I've not even got them. They're still in the garden. Best not forget about them. Primed up a load of Necromunda stuff myself today. While the weather's been quite nice this weekend, I've been taking the opportunity to get a load of stuff sprayed up because as the months roll on, I think we're going to run out of spraying opportunities, aren't we?
Yeah.
We have Dave in the chat as well over on YouTube saying, "Evening, gents. How are you doing, Dave? I feel like I haven't spoken to you much this week. It's all been a bit manic, hasn't it? What are you working
Dave's
on,
gone
Dave?"
into. I suspect Dave's gone into radio silence. He's cut off all communication with the outside world while he's preparing his Necron invasion for Warhammer World on Wednesday.
This is true.
So he won't be allowing any inbound communications from other enemy players, I think.
Well, that is wise. That is wise. Yeah. So, if we've not mentioned it multiple times already on the stream tonight, we're all off to Warhammer World next this coming Wednesday. So that is really exciting because it has been a long time since we've been.
I mean, it must have been early 2019 was the last time we went. Can't quite remember.
I think
or was it
me
even
and Dave-
Christmas 2018?
So last year, me and Dave went to the New Year Open Day. I don't think you managed to make that one,
didn't.
Jay. And I think that was the last event at Warhammer World that we went to, which is crazy. It's what, over a year and a half ago.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been quite fortunate. I went back in July, I think it was. But before then, I think it was February 2020. I went to a friend's schools.
Oh yeah.
So that's the last time I was like properly there.
Was that the one run by Ben Bailey where you had like custom characters and stuff?
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah,
That sounds really fun.
about that, but yeah, it was the meet and engagement one.
Yeah.
So you played like 3 games of 1,000 points, and then a 2,000 point game on the Saturday, and then 2 2,000 point games on the Sunday. Augurs.
Nice. That sounds cool. Dave says that it's been a busy week. He's just cooking chicken dinner. Does anybody want some? Grace, evening all. Excited we finally have a pre-order date for the new Age of Sigmar battle terms. I am very, very excited. Obviously the last couple of weeks I've been painting Stormcast, and I've got a sizable 2,000 points of Stormcast painted and about another 1,000 points on my desk, built and sprayed, ready to go. So yeah, I'll have a fair-sized Stormcast force ready for the new book. But then I've also got all my orcs out of Dominion, 2 lots of them in Kragnos, because I want to do an Uruk force built around the Cruel Boys and Kragnos. But I've been kind of holding off until the battle tome just to see what I can do. It's one of those where there isn't any rush to get them built up yet, so biding my time until I know what's tasty in the book. So yes, that'd be really fun. Due to that, I haven't actually pre-ordered any of the new Orc stuff because there's lots of stuff to paint. So at the minute tonight, if you can see, I am painting up the Van Densts. So these are the Witch Hunters that came out in the Broken Realm series. They're really nice models. I had a little bit of a play doing some faces. I don't know well they're going to show on camera. Trying to follow Louise Sugden's guide off Warhammer Plus. Really good guide for painting faces. It's tricky, and it'll take a few goes to get it right, but I'm pretty happy with how these are looking. I need to go back in with a few more of the highlights, but yeah, pretty happy with those. The chat is moving furiously tonight. Dave says 2 mods don't wake themselves, so I guess that's a confirmation that he is still cracking on with the Necrons. Craig says, still on the Cruel Boys train. I have a games club night for the first time in 2 years at the end of the month, so I need 600 points for the Cruel Boys ready to go. You get about 1,000 points, 1,060 points in Dominion, so that's a really great place to start for a Cruel Boys army. We have Great Seer in the chat. Dave is excited for the Uruk Warclans and the Stormcast. Shaken Bones says, how far are you from Warhammer World? If I'd be in the UK, I'd have to go there every month. So it takes about 1 hour and 20 to drive from here to Warhammer World, so it's not too bad. We're quite lucky, really. And bizarrely, until like a couple of years ago, we hadn't really been, had we?
Was our first trip a Horus Heresy game?
It was a Horus Heresy. It was a big 3-player Horus Heresy event. What do we do? I think we all brought about 2,000 points each of various legions, and had a big kind of reenactment. It was really, really fun. We really should do that again soon. Maybe when the new edition comes out. Well, we assume it's a new edition. It might be the old edition, mightn't it? With a new box to celebrate it. Either way, we need to do it again because it was really fun. We've got Anonymous Rex in the chat over on YouTube. How are you doing? Good evening. How are you doing? I don't even know what day of the week it is. It doesn't feel like Sunday for some reason.
Oh, it's Sunday. Oh, yeah.
It is most definitely Sunday. These models are really nice. They've been sat on my shelf in boxes for a while, and I thought, you know what? They could slot into like my Stormcast army to make up some extra points quite nicely. And I have got a Cities of Sigmar force as well. I imagine we'll probably see a full kind of Dawnbringer Crusade battle tome at some point, which probably adds some kind of newer human elements to the Mortal Realms, kind of following on from the design of these and the characters out of Cursed City. That's really where they're going to find their homes. But I'm going to base them to match my Stormcast, because then I can use them either as that army when it inevitably comes, or with my Stormcast. I think I'll base my Cursed City characters the same way. But yeah, they're really nice models.
There won't be much room for humans in my Stormcast army.
No, so you're going all in on the dragons, aren't you?
Yeah, I cannot wait for those dragons. I wasn't expecting them to be up with the... Well, actually, saying that, the fact that we're getting multiple waves of these Stormcast and Orks did surprise me a bit, because I did sort of think maybe they'd do it all in one go, especially with it being a bit delayed, but it looks like we're going to get at least 2 waves.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's all due to like logistics issues.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess.
Like the Orcs, isn't it? We've had 1 wave of Orcs this week, which has most of the stuff in it, but then the other things like the kill rig and stuff like that, it's probably going to come like October, November sort of time, randomly sprinkled in.
Yeah, well, if you remember the Adeptus Sororitas release, that was a long time between the 2 waves, so who knows? I don't mind that. It means that there's a mixed bit of a schedule, and you can't predict what's going to be on pre-order next week.
No, it keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting.
Yeah, we always like to have a little game between us, kind of voting what we think's coming next.
It gives us the opportunity to buy some of the new releases and actually build and paint it.
Well, this is also true as well. Like I said, I'm trying to have a bit of a not buy everything couple of months just while I clear some of the backlog. And like with the Stormcast, I had enough to kind of like build up an army. Now, it's going to be very hard to resist buying those dragons.
Yeah.
But like for the Orcs, I've got my Speed Freaks army, so kind of going to focus on getting them up. I think I might do some weathering on them and touch them up a little bit, because I think my painting's moved on a little bit since I did those way back when. So it's a good excuse to breathe some life into some old projects. But yeah, I'm really enjoying painting these guys. So I'm just trying to pick out all the silver on these and then start building up the robes. So yeah, quite nice to paint just a random one-off kind of set rather than... Traditionally, I tend to rapid fire through an entire army. Like I did, 700 points of Stormcast last week. So I'm just having a breather before I crack on with the next 1,000 points of Stormcast I've got built in front of me.
Yeah, don't blame you.
To be fair, stuff like that, I can kind of production line it pretty quickly anyway. You just kind of put some music on or an audio book on, or stick something on YouTube in the background and just crack on trawling through models. But it is nice to just kind of stop and have a breather, just doing something random. So yeah, quite enjoying this. So Gracie says, focusing on my Skaven, but I have the Stormcast from Dominion and a number from Mortal Realms magazine. So waiting to see if there's a particular storm host I should pick for painting. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably waiting for the reviews and the like to start dropping to know what colour to paint their Stormcast.
Yeah.
Because from a competitive point of view, that's probably a biggie, isn't it? Now we know that the Hammers of Sigmar can take dragons as battle line, so I'm guessing you'll be doing them rules-wise, Jay, but not necessarily scheme-wise.
We'll see what we can do. I quite like the Stormcast with the swords as well. So if they can fulfill a battle line option, and then with the dragons as support, yeah. So we'll see. It's the big dragons really that I really like the look of. So the dragon riders, I think a unit of them is going to be cool.
Well, so I don't know, but I don't know when I last spoke to you, Jay. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Bank holiday weekend, Hatchet Partworks had a bit of a bank holiday sale on, and they had 10% off Mortal Realms magazine, 20% off if you spent 50 quid. And yeah, I went through what magazines they had left, which, to be fair, a lot of it had already gone, but I managed to get myself 4 evocators on Celestial Dracolines. So
Oh
the
yeah, they're
spare
nice
one
models there.
I can build as the kind of character on one with some spare parts that I've got. I got the Celestant Prime, missing a base because that came with another issue, but you know it's like 4 quid in Warhammer World, so I'll just buy the base separately.
Oh, just the round black base. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And what else did I get? I got the winged fella that has either a bow or a lantern. Lord Azuros, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's what it's called.
Venator?
Something like that. And I also got the named Hammers of Sigmar model on a Dracoline.
Oh,
Asteria,
yeah, I know him. Yeah,
like
the woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was nice. She had some cool rules. She did.
Yeah. So I thought, well, getting all. I mean, those 8 quid each is pretty good. With an extra 10% off as well. I thought I need to do this because yeah, we didn't do more. We subscribed, but they messed up the subscription, so wasn't a great entrance for us for that because we were planning on doing some like review stuff with it. But oh well. Looks like our Imperium magazine one's gone through fine though, so hopefully our first delivery of that should come soon. Frustrating thing with the part works though is that you tend to get the magazines bundled up in one package at the end of a month. So
yes,
from a kind of like reviewing point of view, and just kind of full disclosure, with you know we're not getting any freebies for this. We're just subscribing ourselves. You may have seen a lot of it already, but me and Dave want to do a little bit of a project where we paint up the contents over the course of the year, and I am planning on doing some conversions. So, in fact, I've got them here. So I did a little bit of test piece on the model that is coming in the first issue of, let me put it on the main camera, the first issue of Imperium magazine, and this is my converted Wolf Spear Lieutenant, and I'm really happy with how he's turned out, to be fair. Quite a simple conversion.
Yeah, he's cool.
I've used the Stormcast head from the Forge World kit. It's a little wonky, the spear, but that spear is from a Dark Elf from the world that was.
Oh yeah.
Some of them. I've added a few little pelts and trinkets and fetishes and stuff from the Space Wolves frame, and then the chest piece, if it focuses, sculpted out of green stuff, and a little kind of like drape of fur around there as well. Used that with this from Green Stuff World. Someone, I forget who it was, but somebody on Twitter recommended that to me. And it's a little texture pad. You wet it, you press the green stuff into it, and it gives it a fur texture. Infinitely easier than trying to sculpt it yourself. They do a few different ones, like kind of like a metal flooring panel for like Necromunda and other like brick textures and stuff. So yeah, so I'm really happy with how he's turned out. It's quite, like I say, it's quite a simple conversion, but it does look quite a bit different than the original model. So I think that's
which is what you want from the Space Rolls.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going for over the entire army. That's the plan anyway. I really enjoy doing it. It's hard to not like pick up a few of my other Space Marines I've got kicking around and convert them up. And I'll try and stick to doing it over the course of the magazine run.
I know if you get the Wolfguard Terminators, they've got some really cool Space Wolfy Storm Shields that will look good on Prime House Marines.
Well, I was looking at them from a Blade Guard potentially.
Yeah.
There's quite a few nice parts for conversions in that kit as well. So yeah, that is definitely a contender for something to pick up when we're at Warhammer World.
There's some good Horus Heresy Space Wolf models as well with the what are they called, the not the Death Sworn, the other war guys, the basic troops with the round. Like
unfortunately,
type character.
those upgrade packs would be perfect, but they're currently out of stock.
Ah, never mind.
So that was
I suppose
option.
They may be in stock by the, if it's going to be a slow burn project, you can just pick them up when they come in stock, and then.
Yeah, that's it. I think the Terminator shields work well for the Blade Guard, and then I was hoping
Definitely.
some of that set comes with some like axes and stuff, which I think could look really good
Yeah.
for assault intercessors.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So
Be interested to see what kind of rules they get in the supplement.
Yeah, well, that's another thing as well. I don't want to kind of convert too much stuff until I know what there is. It's a full codex supplement, so if it's anything like the Tome Keepers, they'll have special characters as well. Now, speaking of the Tome Keepers, Dave is planning on doing a Tome Keeper force over the run of the magazine as well, so that'll be a bit of fun. So we'll both do our kind of own White Dwarf special armies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be something a bit different. I've always wanted to do some more like converting and stuff, but not really had a project to do it on. So yeah, Imperium magazine is going to be that, because the Adeptus Mechanicus that you get in there, I think I'm going to convert up into Dark Mechanicum.
Oh, cool.
That would be cool, yeah. I think we'll have to do something, Joe.
Well, I'm not getting that magazine.
We'll do Black Templars and Orcs.
Well, I am doing Black Templars, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a codex supplement. I have got from the first iteration of the magazine, which was the Space Marines and Necrons. Was it Space Marines Necrons? No, Space Marines Scenery and
it was Space Marines and Death Guard.
Death Guard.
Based around the Dark Imperium, was it called?
Yes,
edition?
That's right. Yeah, 8th edition.
Yeah.
And they came with a Silver Templars codex supplement.
So they did, yeah.
Which I've got up there in the cupboard. So you're welcome to do Silver Templars if you want to do a sort of supplement chapter, Andy. They've got some their own chapter tactics and special rules and warlord traits and whatnot. I don't know if they've got a special character. I don't think they had a special character. They had a really nice colour scheme, though.
Yeah, I think listener of the show, Andy Bryan, might be very happy if I started a Silver Smoker.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he? Craig Sinclair says, I've been listening to... Oops, let me switch this book over. Been listening to Old Sprues and Brews podcast when painting this week. 2019 was a great year for the podcast. Yeah, it's...
Nice one.
You know what? It's been a long time since we started the podcast, hasn't it? Do you remember the shows we used to record in your garage, Jay?
I do. In the old Sprues and Brews headquarters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I no longer own that garage, so I have to relocate.
We're doing the, I think it was a Fire Slayer episode. First episode you guys had me on. I think that was in that garage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Not that I remember every time I've been on Sprues and Brews. I'm not counting.
Regular fixture now, Andy, though.
Yeah, yeah. I feel so sorry for the listeners.
Any hate mail for Andy addressed to Andy at Sprues and Brews. Right.
I've been sort of off the grid for the last 10 days. I've not had any internet signal really or anything like that, so I've missed a lot of the hobby developments. I've really missed the hobby. I come back and I had an hour to myself this afternoon, so I put Angels of Death on. I'm not going to spoil it in case any listeners haven't or any people watching haven't seen it yet. But I really enjoyed the 2 episodes of Angels of Death that I saw. I watched what's the face Sughammer's tutorial on the Black Armor. As I'm getting a bit hyped for the Black Templars, I thought I'd check that out. It was really, really cool tutorial, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to apply it to an entire army. We'll have to see. But I do want to watch her face one as well, because I think that is something you could probably use on all of your faces.
The face one is really good. I've kind of like transcribed it into a notepad. I think it was mentioned on the podcast or the painting stream last week, one of the two. I've got a notepad with all my schemes in, and as good as it is to watch a video, it's nice to have it all written down in a book that you can just refer to. So I did that earlier while playing with these faces, and yeah. So you went on our show last week, so it's probably a good opportunity to ask you, Jay, what you're thinking of Warhammer Plus. How have you found it so far?
Yeah, so I've like I say, I've not had much opportunity to watch everything yet. So obviously I saw the the Old Day Lie. I've seen 2 episodes of Angels of Death now, and I've watched one of the battle reports, and I've watched one of the masterclass episodes.
Okay.
I'm really liking the animation. The battle report, I liked it. It was good, but I mean, I like a lot of battle reports on the internet, and there was nothing about that one that especially jumped out at me, apart from the fact that they're using studio armies, which was really nice to see. But then again, some of the other battle reports I watched from like third-party content creators, their armies are just as nice as well. So, the battle reports, I think, have been the weakest part of Warhammer Plus for me personally so far. But I'm looking forward to. I mean, I've seen the Ultramarines versus Necrons one. I watched the Age of Sigmar one, and there's a Blood Angels versus Orcs one on there, I think, at the moment, which I've not seen yet.
I watched that earlier. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, but I'm really hoping they do something special with the battle reports that set them apart from everything else you can see on the internet already, and they do like some narrative or themed battle reports, like a Battle for Armageddon or Siege of Terror, that sort of thing. I think if they start doing things like that, then that's going to be amazing. As it is, I can get my battle reports in other places. The masterclass was really cool actually, and it was very good. I did like it, although I did think. I mean, I've only seen one. Maybe the Faces one is a bit easier to follow, but I found the Black Armor one. It was very good that she went through the steps. Great. But it would have been nice to see some close-ups of the actual miniature and where she was applying the actual highlights, because I know you apply one highlight, then another highlight, then another highlight, but when you're doing highlighting or painting to that sort of level, I find you pick up a Space Marine, all right, which part of this armor panel is the ultimate edge highlight there, and that was missing from that tutorial. So I was going to email in actually and just say, could you go back a step and just talk about where you apply your highlights on a panel, generally. But it was good. I liked it. It was cool. And the end result, I mean, that black armor was stunning, and applying that glaze at the end was really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to watching more of those masterclasses.
I think with the masterclasses, I guess it assumes that you know a lot of the basics, doesn't it?
But yeah, perhaps you're right there. Yeah. I did want. I'm looking forward to watching the face one, because I find when I'm doing faces at the moment, I tend to be a bit ad hoc with faces, and I don't really have a method that I use for paint faces. I just keep painting it until I think it looks okay. Whereas if she's got like a recipe for faces, that'll be really cool.
Yeah, it's lots of colour mixing, and she recommends using a wet palette as well in it, which I can agree with, because I try to do it without a wet palette. And basically, the problem is you've got colour mixers that you come back to later to kind of like smooth out after you've done all your kind of glazes and stuff. Right, yeah. So without having a palette, you've got to basically remix that same colour exactly.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't really do anything straight from the pot. It's all custom mixes. Because but essentially they do it a bit backwards. So they base coat the face, and a lot of what she's doing apparently is the heavy metal schemes. But they base coat the face with a what colour was it? One of the flesh colours, I forget. Cadian flesh tone. 70% Cadian flesh tone, 30% Wraithbone to make a lighter shade of it, and then put about 5 coats of that on, and then you use kind of pure Cadian flesh tone as a shade, because obviously your base colour that you put down has got that Wraithbone in it.
Yes.
And then lots of kind of glazes and building up different layers. It was a really, really good video. Highly recommend watching it, but it's definitely for more advanced painters, I'd say. But that being said, I don't think there's any reason why anyone wouldn't be able to follow it and get results, though. Even if it means lots of practice and, taking your time. It makes that kind of heavy metal paint scheme achievable. If you put, it's going to take time and effort. It's not just, slop it on and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But
you've always got normal Warhammer TV on YouTube, haven't you?
Well, yeah, they've got a nice mix now, haven't they, of the kind of entry level stuff, and then the advanced stuff for people who want to take it up a step. So yeah, I think that's good. Gracie says, I thought the zoning on the face video was a helpful framework. Yeah, so essentially the lower third is cold colours, the middle bit around the nose and cheeks are kind of reds because that's where blood vessels are. And that's actually something that I did without knowing the science behind it on my Mega Gargants, where I used red glazes rather than she uses Doom Bull or something similar to kind of give that ruddy tone in the centre of the face. Fabius Fulgrim, I don't know how you coat painting as much as you do without using a wet palette. I'm by no means a good painter, but a wet palette is essential. Yeah, well, I put a tweet out today. I think you might have replied, Fabius Fulgrim, about making my own. I want to invest in a wet palette. I think it's something that I need to add to the painting stable, and I'm trying to get opinions on what's the best to use. Red Grass Games or Making Your Own seem to be the current winners.
Yeah, I've got a red grass one just out of, if I bring it into, got a red grass one
Let me
here.
switch to your camera. So that is the red grass one. And how have you found it? Does it get mouldy? Does it hold up okay?
So if you clean it after every use, it's perfectly fine. If, like me, you forget about it after you're painting, you leave it for about 3 or 4 days, then it can get a little bit mouldy.
Right. Okay.
Like not to the point where it's like it's ruined it and it's horrible and stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't paint now without it.
Really? Okay.
Except for metallics, I don't tend to put metallics on a wet palette now, just because I want a bit more of a thicker coat.
Yeah.
But like when I'm doing like flesh or even just like normal basic colours and stuff, yeah, I just put it on the wet palette, and it seems to be really nice.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to invest in one, I think. So again, anyone in the chat, shout up. What's your choice of wet palette? I might get a couple and do a post on the website as well. That seems like easy content, doesn't it? Have a which
review of them,
which
yeah.
wet palette should you buy kind of thing. Shaking Bones says, for faces, since the contrast colours, I only use flesh contrast tones and the highlights with the primer, like Wraithbone or Grey. That works so good. Yeah, the contrast paints are really, really good for faces, aren't they? Guilliman Flesh is a great paint.
Oh yeah, I tend to do that on just basic rank and file. Yeah, Guilliman Flesh. It's really good on the elves actually because you can hardly see the faces on the elves, and you can just dab a bit of that in.
Yeah,
really, really cool.
Yeah, I started experimenting stuff with like the Guilliman Flesh. I found the if you do like Rakoff Flesh as a base, and then the Guilliman Flesh over it. I know you've got Wraithbone, but I find if you put the Wraithbone on and then do the Guilliman Flesh, it tends to chip off.
Yeah.
I don't tend to find that with Rakoff Flesh for some reason. Maybe it's just the base paints, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I have found some of my models that I painted. We did a bit of a contrast challenge, didn't we? And you go back to some of the models that we did purely in contrast, and the paint flaking off is a bit, not flaking off. It kind of gets a bit dusty, and I don't know. It's hard to explain what it's actually doing.
I think you have to seal it, don't you, with some hard coat or whatever it's called, varnish.
So, but then recent stuff, I've really recently just used it as like a glaze.
Yeah, I don't.
Duncan's videos, just to kind of subtly change the colour or something.
I've used a lot of wildwood on my gold and like beige robes and things as like a recess shade. Whereas I would normally use something like Agrax Earthshade and things like that. I've also used a lot of the Space Wolves Grey as a shade for white armor, so on my purifiers and things like that. Basically, Corax White, the helm, for example, some of that Space Wolves Grey really thin down with contrast medium into the recesses, and then you can go back then with a Corax White to just touch it up, and then White Scar Edge highlight, and then seal the whole thing in a coat of hard coat, and it really makes a really nice crisp white colour. Probably not so good on something like White Scar's matte, but for Apothecary white armor or Yeah, maybe the Black Templars, white shoulder pads and things like that. I think it might be quite cool. But yeah, I don't really use contrast as like Dave uses contrast a lot as a main paint. I tend to use them more as like washes or glazes. Yeah,
I'm going to try using it on my Orc vehicles. I'm spraying them lead belcher, and I'm going to do similar to what you did with the Orc scenery. I'm going to use them sort of like over the arm, like certain armor panels and stuff. And then that way, if they do chip off, it kind of just looks like weathering almost.
Yeah. They can work quite well for that, and you could always go in with like some chipping and stuff afterwards as well, and that will kind of tie it all together.
Yeah, that's hopefully the plan.
Awesome.
I think my initial idea of trying to get 1,000 points of Orcs painted in and built in 2 weeks might have been
a bit optimistic.
Yeah, a bit optimistic. Yeah.
But you tried, Andy. You tried, and that's all that matters.
Well, I've got them all built.
It's you'd be surprised, Andy. So we did the contrast challenge in a week. Got a 1,000-point army painted in a week. Hard going, very hard going. Lots of late nights, but it can be done. But more recently, the Dark Imperium, Space Marines, and Necrons. Indomitus, yeah, that was it. Indomitus. Oof.
That was a intense. Well, I say a few weeks, it was like a week, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it is hard going, and sometimes I think it takes the enjoyment out of it. Sometimes as well, I think. Sometimes just take your time for it. You know, you're into your orcs, you want to get an orc army. There's no rush to get it painted in a week. Just get a model painted in a week and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the stuff like that, we like to have the models painted so we can do like a battle report or something. That's solely why we do it like that. A lot of the other content creators who maybe don't do the kind of the review side can take their time a little longer with them. But I think for stuff like that, I always think it's fun to be able to do a battle the first day. So that's why we try and hammer them.
Well, luckily, my next 40k project is going to be the Black Templars, and the launch box, we hope, coming out this month, perhaps pre-order this month, maybe.
They said it was pre-order September. Now, obviously, we saw the Stormcast and Orks delayed a couple of weeks, so that might have had a knock-on effect on other things. Hopefully.
But I'm hoping we get a big enough window between the launch box and the main codex release, so we can get 1,000 points of them painted up, ready for a battle report.
Yeah. Scrapper84, thank you very much for following. Yeah, we could do Black Templars versus Orcs. Be a good one, Jay.
Templars versus Orcs, that's the classic, isn't it?
Yeah. So we need to do a battle report with the new Orc book, don't we? So that sounds like a plan. These are really nice models. I know I've said it a couple of times on this stream, but I'm really enjoying painting these Witch Hunters. I just wish that, and I know they're probably coming, but I just wish there was a full Stormcast human army that looks like this.
Get in the queue, Matt. There's tons of Warhammer armies that want to come out before humans. We need new dwarfs. We need new wood elves.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the post on Warcom today about the Stormcast chariots? They are made by Grungni himself.
Ooh, dwarf chariots! Wow.
Scrapper84 is in the chat saying converting assault intercessors into Templars right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. When the Indomitus stuff come out, straight away I was thinking these will make amazing Black Templars. They look more knightly than the previous iteration of the Primaris Marines with the van braces and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see actually what the new Black Templar range, you know, how it enhances the already sort of Templarish looking Primaris Marines.
Yeah, have you got any left, Jay, of the Blade
I have. I've got 10 Assault Intercessors that I've not built. I've got 3 Blade Guard Veterans I've not built. I have a Primaris Captain. Oh, no, I did. I converted my Primaris Captain into a Blood Angels Primaris Captain. But I've definitely got 10 Assault Intercessors. which I could make a start with.
That's cool. Again, you're in the same boat. It's kind of waiting for the book to come out and seeing what you can do with them, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, if they get in a Crusader squad, I suspect I'd be taking Crusaders rather than Assault Intercessors. And I've got models I can be working on now. I've got to paint a few more Luminef ready for the tournament at the end of the month. And obviously I've got a few Grey Knights models I want to paint as well to get them up to 2,000. So I'll just be working on those, I think, until the Black Templars hit, and then I'll get cracking on the Black Templars.
Nice.
I've lost a Grey Knight toe.
That's unfortunate. You don't want to lose one of them.
No. Let's have a look.
I am very jealous of you two, because you get to go to the Purple Sparkly Unicorn, the Age of Sigmar event at the end of the month.
This is it. And sadly, despite being in the team organising it, you can't make it, can you, Andy?
No, I mean, I was round at Chief Unicorn, Mr. Chester's house yesterday, and we're going through like all the scorecards and that sort of stuff, and looking at the trophies that you can win.
Oh.
Yeah, we've managed to get the trophies painted by a guy called Gans, who's part of the Purple Sparkly Unicorns. Yeah, let's just put it this way: his painting is borderline heavy metal sort of style painting, and the actual trophies and stuff look absolutely phenomenal.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I'm super jealous.
Well, hopefully you can make the next one, Andy.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think I should actually say this because we haven't yet.
Have we got some exclusive news?
Possibly. So I think Mr. Craig Chesters, the head of the Purple Sparkly Unicorns, wants to run a one-day 40k event in October, I believe.
In October?
Oh, super. Yeah, I'm definitely up for that.
I'm going to try and get my Orks done because I'm off that weekend, so I can actually come to this one.
Hey.
And I'm going to be spare player if it goes ahead.
If it goes ahead. Nothing is confirmed yet until it goes out on the Purple Sparkly's Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, we have to wait for the venue just to double check and make sure it's actually okay.
The usual venue or somewhere different?
Yeah, it's the usual venue. So it's like a social club sort of thing. So I think the plan is probably like 9-10 tables in.
Oh, that'd be cool. I
imagine that'd be a popular
one.
Yeah, basically similar to the one we did back in, oh God, when was it now? September?
Back in the mists of time.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I saw you in person, Jay.
Yeah, I think it was. That was, what did I take to that one? Did I take Craftworld Eldar or Harlequins?
You took Harlequins, because I took
yeah.
Deathcore Krieg and got battered by you.
Yeah, the Harlequins were brutal at the beginning of the 9th.
Yeah.
I was thinking about taking Harlequins on Wednesday, actually. You know, I was writing a few Harlequin lists.
Why are you not bringing
the
Grey Knights?
Well, the Grey Knights, in my 1,000-point army, I've got 2 Grey Knight dreadknights. So if I can get this dreadknight built and painted in the next couple of days, I can take the Grey Knights. Because I want to take a fully painted army, see, that's all. We'll go Warhammer World.
No, that makes sense.
So that's, you know, I'm going to try and get this guy painted. If I can get this guy painted, that's 1,000 points then.
Harlequins are cool though. I'm seeing your Harlequins for a long time.
Yeah,
Probably since then.
Yeah, and they've had a few points drops, I think. So my list I wrote. Mental. Yeah, I know. I think I need to maybe add another model or 2 to make them 1,000 points. I even I was thinking, I've got my Tau. I could take the Tau. The only thing that puts me off taking the Tau is there's lots going on in the Tau. They've got a lot of extras that are added in Psychic Awakening. And I want to actually enjoy myself while I'm there and not be flicking through pages of books trying to figure out what stratagems I need to use.
Well, this is it. I was going to take the Be'lakor list, Demons and Chaos Space Marines, but it just seems like a lot of bookkeeping for what's meant to be a light day at Warhammer World. So I'm taking the Orcs, taking the Speed Freaks. There's 2 steps to my tactic. You drive right up in the face of somebody, you shoot them with all your guns, and then in the charge phase, you charge them. That's it. Dead easy.
Yeah, you can't knock that, can you?
But vehicles are really good in the new Orc book as well. All of those buggies have been improved.
Oh, there you go then.
We did a battle report, wow, probably this time last year, where it's safe to say the Orcs got battered by the Space Marines, because as cool as those vehicles were, they didn't really take that much fire, did they? I think it was really the battle wagon that was kind of holding the day for me.
Yeah.
Where now they're all the Orc vehicles have got this new rule where unless you're strength 8 or higher, you deduct 1 from damage. It's the old ramshackle rule, but reworked.
Oh yeah.
Basically represents that when you shoot them, just bits of rubbish fall off the buggy rather than actually doing any damage.
Very cool.
So yeah, so looking forward to getting the Orcs out again, because last time I properly used them was then, and last time I used the full army was probably against Notley on Warhammer TV. That's a long time ago now. So if I keep looking off camera, I'm just looking at the colour scheme for these guys. So we've got quite a few people watching in the chat. What are you all working on? Fabius Fulgrim says, what are people wanting from Templars? For me, I really want Primaris Scouts. That'd be really cool.
Yes. Primaris Scouts would be cool.
I mean, arguably the Vanguard stuff is kind of that.
Yeah, it is.
Because they've kind of got the Scout aesthetic going on. And on me Wolf Spear, coincidentally, they're supposedly kind of like stealth specialists. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with them. They're like more controlled space wolves, so more kind of like hunting their prey rather than going all in.
I believe we've seen rumours of a dreadnought in the launch box.
A dreadnought, eh?
Yeah, a Redemptor dreadnought. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing if there's any like upgrade or alternative weapons, maybe like a new kind of flamer weapon or multi-melter weapon for a dreadnought. Because at the moment we've got the Redemptor dreadnought with the fist and heavy assault Gatling cannon or macro plasma cannon, isn't it? It would be cool to see some additional weaponry for the Redemptor dreadnoughts.
Yeah, cleanser pattern Redemptor with melter weapon and flamer would be cool, wouldn't it?
Flail or something like that.
Well, launch boxes. All the launch boxes so far have had just new models in them.
Yeah.
So it'd be unusual for it to be just a repackaged Redemptor, wouldn't it? And that's assuming that's right as well.
That's assuming we are getting a Redemptor in the launch box. I'm also looking forward to see what they do with the Sword Brethren, if they do anything.
Yeah,
Sword Brethren are a big Black Templar sort of staple.
I had a Black Templar army a long time ago. Talking, I don't know, 4th, 5th edition. It was whatever edition they were introduced. Maybe 5th.
Yeah.
And they,
4th,
you know what?
They had rules in 3rd in the Armageddon Codex.
They did, yeah.
With the Salamanders. Was Speed Freaks in that, or was it the Death Skulls? It could have been. Snakebites were definitely in there.
I remember, maybe it was 3rd then. Whatever edition, they had their first like Battle Force box, and you had the cool mixed squads and the specialist Land Raider that they had. Yeah, it's really nice.
Crusader. I was watching Angels of Death earlier on this afternoon, and there's a scene where, I don't know if to spoil too much, but they basically deploy that for these drop pods. And I'm thinking, drop pods, they used to be a iconic Space Marine sort of weapon of war.
Yeah.
The Land Raider as well. And that's sort of missing from the Primaris. That sort of soul, of what a Space Marine is over the years. I really wish Games Workshop just say, look, Primaris Marines, they can use drop pods and Land Raiders now.
I'd love to see, even if it's a new kit, a new Primaris drop pod, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you say, it's iconic, isn't it? Space Marines screaming down from the heavens.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand at the time why they didn't. And, you want to sell new kits, you want to develop the lore of Primaris Marines, but it's such a shame to let the Land Raider and drop pod disappear.
Yeah.
So maybe Black Templars retrofit some of them.
I guess maybe the home of that is Heresy, though, if that's getting a lot of love.
Possibly, yeah. And it's interesting actually because I was talking to you earlier on, Matt, on WhatsApp about Heresy. I saw a picture that someone's posted comparing the size of the new Imperial Fist Praetor in Terminator armor, and it's massive. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like almost as big as Rogel Dawn the Primarch.
Well, I
It's
did
easily the size of a Primaris Marine.
Yeah, well, I did some super scientific images of Malagurst versus Horus and a lowly Sons of Horus Marine, and again, that has had some scale creep as well, which is good because I prefer chunkier models. I know a lot of people, a lot of purists are like, oh wow, no, Heresy needs to keep the same scale as like Rogue Trader. But arguably, a lot of the Forge World reimaginings scaled things up anyway. And a lot of the Space Marine stuff all being the same size was because they wanted every kit to be compatible with each other, which is great from like conversion parts and stuff. But I think we just need to move on and replace it. In the chat, Scrapper84 says a Primaris Sword Brethren squad or a Marshal Castellan model. Yeah, I think we'll get all of that. I think we'll get all of that. Fabius Fulgrim, I know what you mean about Vanguard being scouts, but they don't fit the role of trainees. I don't think the Black Templars are Templars without Crusader squads. I'm super interested to see what they do. I think we might see some like really unique stuff for them.
Yeah, I hope they keep that whole Crusader squad of Space Marines and like initiates or neophytes?
Initiates and neophytes, isn't it?
Yeah. I hope they keep that. I think that for me. So, the more you talk about it, Jane, it's almost like your enthusiasm is rubbing off on me.
Well, before you start building and painting Black Templars, Andy, and by all means, you can join the Crusade. That is fine, but I need some Orcs to fight. So you need to get those Orcs done first.
Yeah, I was looking at my pile of potential, and I'm like, it's starting to grow again, and I don't.
But this is why I haven't ordered any of the Orc stuff, because I always order the new shinies. I'm sure you guys would expect me to, as soon as a new release comes out, I'm like, yep, I'm having that. But I want to try and clear some of the backlog, and that includes finishing off the Soul Blight Gravelords, which is a great start on.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
A couple of units finishing off for them. The Giants just need a few tweaks in base and just need finishing off. My Sons of Horus, I've got very few models that I need to paint, so they're probably next on my list after I've done the Stormcast for the review.
I'm happy to hear this.
To be fair, I can make an army out of what's painted, but I can push it to 3,000 with the other bits that I've got. So yeah, so they need to get done. I want to get my Genestealer cults finished. Again, I've got over 1,000 points painted, but it's nice to have enough to do a 2,000 point game and have a variety of different units as well. And that's something both me and you do, Jay. It's nice to have like all the various unit options, isn't it, painted up?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I look at like my Custodians is a good one. Actually, I've got units of Custodians. Like my bikes, I've not used my bikes in ages, but they're there if I want to use them. I've got the Ultramarines. I've got like units of Assault Intercessors. I've got a different Dreadnought configuration that I've built. It's just nice, like you say, to just mix it up a bit and take units that you wouldn't ordinarily take. Yeah. I did that with my Luminef. I've got units here. I've been painting Sentinels and Hurricane Wind Chargers, but I don't think they'll go in many of my lists. But it's just nice to have them if you do want to use them every now and then. But I think also we potentially might be seeing Genestealers and Custodies later on in the year. So it would be good to get 2,000 points of Genestealers ready, because I've got probably about 2,500 points of Custodies ready to go.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm still not convinced with the Genestealers and Custodies. I think that's people looking at the images that Games Workshop put as placeholders for the Imperium and Xenos armies, and kind of the one's a golden cover, one's a gribbly looking cover. They use those same images for both Dark Angels and Drakari. So, but then there's been a lot of kind of reliable rumours kicking around as well. So it's really hard at the minute to kind of pass what's genuine from what isn't.
Yeah, I think like the go-to sort of candidates for them sort of releases in the year would have been Guard and Tyranids based on the
But
Octarius.
yeah, and they do tend to put releases in sync with those narrative supplements as well,
Yeah.
because
But then,
yeah,
well, not long to find out anyway.
no,
And
no,
it will be nice to get a new Custodian Codex, to be fair. Although I don't mind waiting.
you don't mind waiting.
No.
I'd love to see more done for the Sisters of Silence. I mean, I think it's a given that they should get folded into the Custodian's book and just be Talons of the Emperor. But I think we need to
Yeah.
see some of the and I don't think we'll ever see them. For the Horus Heresy, there's loads of cool squads. There's squads of like animal handlers who send out kind of cyber dogs and birds out. There was like elite sisters units. There was loads of cool stuff that unfortunately never got models. Alternate builds of the kind of dropship thing that they've got. And I think whether it's down to sales or something else, it's just never happened, which is a shame because I really like the Sisters of Silence range. I might, and this is the thing with Heresy as well. If everything, and this again is assuming it's new edition, if all the current books are still valid, then I might convert up a Sisters of Silence force to represent those units.
Yeah, go for it.
Until I know what the details are for the new edition of Heresy, I'm not doing anything because it's a lot of time to spend converting something up that could be completely redundant in like 2 months' time.
Yes.
So just biding my time with that one. But yeah, it would be cool. Fabius Fulgrim, I really hope it's not Tyranids, as I think they need more than a HQ in a book. If an army deserves a huge plastic kit, it's the Tyranids. Well, that's not to say that they don't get plastic support. I think, you know, we've got a big wave coming out for both the Orks and the Stormcast, and we've got a big Orc release at the same time. I think the days of saying, oh, well, the big release is either in the summer or in January, I honestly think they're over. I think if Games Workshop want to put something out, they'll put it out, and it could be any time, especially with the increased like production capability they've got now as well. Because that's always been that's what's been stopping them putting out a massive release for every army every month. Just being able to produce the stuff to meet demand. And obviously COVID and Brexit-related transport issues and all that has no doubt affected them. And I imagine that's probably what's affected the delay of the Stormcast and Uruk book. I think as things slowly start to get back to normal, with this second factory up and running, I think we'll see things thick and fast going forward, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah. My wallet is not happy, but I am. So it's
yeah. Fabius Williams says, I just think the December release doesn't scream big launch. Well, traditionally we haven't had a big launch. We had a new stock collecting box for the Slaves to Darkness was in December, but that was the only kit they got. We tend to get the big kind of bundle boxes, don't we, and scenery deals and stuff at Christmas. And like you say, they normally wait until January for the big new army release because people have got Christmas money to spend. So yeah, there's logic to their release schedules.
What Christmas boxes would you guys want this year?
Ooh, what Christmas boxes? Well, I think we'll get a Stormcast one and an Uruk one. I think that's a no-brainer. What would I like to see?
I think we could see a guard one.
We've had a guard one every year for the last few years. Yeah.
I just think maybe if they are doing a range refresh, I think it might be a good opportunity for them to clear out a load of the old.
Well,
old
yeah,
kits.
and it could be some good offers to be had there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right with that. Gene Stealer Cults, they had a really good one a couple of years ago that I used as the majority of my army. A lot of those kits have been out a couple of years now, so that's a good contender. And like Guard, that's another army where you need a mass of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else hasn't had one recently? A Chaos one would be nice. Maybe a Khorne one. Because I don't think Khorne have had one of those boxes before.
You mean an Age of Sigmar Khorne or?
Yeah, Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, that would
Blades
be
of
nice.
Khorne. Nighthaunt maybe? Especially if they throw in some of the old Soul War stuff.
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? They've announced on the pre-orders for next week one of the characters from Soul Wars for the Stormcast.
Yeah, the guy riding, I don't know what they're called. The guy riding one of these. Griff Charger, is it?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now.
I was looking at it literally about an hour before that was on the War Compost. I was looking on eBay. You can get one for about three quid on eBay at the minute. I imagine it won't be £3 much longer. So
No.
if you want one, I'd order one now. Because it'd be like 20 odd quid when it comes out. But yeah, I think we'll see that for some of the other kits from that box that you can only get that way. Because there's a couple of Nighthaunt models that were exclusive to that box.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them actually get re-released. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a new Nighthaunt battle tome and they'll get like new sculpts.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Because I do like the Nighthaunt. I've got a Nighthaunt army, but they've not really, I don't know, had much love recently, have they? I know they got a model in the Broken Realm series and a couple of allegiances.
They've had good support over the years because they had, if you remember, they were one of the first battle tomes out in 2nd edition. Then they had the sort of mini expansion in where Katakros escaped, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Just before that, was it you could build 4 different armies, and one of them was Lady Olinda, Legion of Grief.
Yeah, I think that was kind of adding some of the stuff that more recent codexes, more recent battle tomes had back into the army. Because obviously when it launched, you didn't have a lot of those things that we take for granted now in current ones.
Yeah, but they did get Lady Olinda, wasn't it? It was a whole new legion.
No, she came out back at the start with the original.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Didn't
I
have
thought she came out with
any
that.
models there, no. The only new model I've had since launch is the new guy in the Broken Realm series.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it'd be nice to see some more bits for them. Because I like the concept of them spooky ghosts.
Yeah. Well, I've been working on the Bone Reapers, obviously, like for Age of Sigmar this year with my Gargants. But going into next year, I'd like to expand sort of like the death range and go into Gravelords. And I did a Nighthaunt army way back when 2nd edition first came out, or just before 2nd edition first came out. And I sold the army because it's that typical case of you rush an army to get it ready for an event, and then you're like, oh, I have to now paint it that way so that everything matches. And
yeah,
it's got to a stage where I wasn't happy with it, so I sold it all. But I'd like to redo them at some point.
That's a shame. In fact, that's a good topic to segue to. Do people regret selling armies?
Ooh.
I've sold armies in the past that I thought, oh, I wish I didn't sell that.
Yeah, I sold a whole load of Blood Angels. They were all Firstborn Blood Angels. They were Heresy Blood Angels. And when we first started getting the Primaris range, I just never saw myself using Firstborn again. The Primaris range was just so nice. So I always had a plan to paint up a Primaris Blood Angels force, but we've still not seen Primaris jump pack infantry really, which has always been a sort of. I've experimented with converting my own and never really found a satisfying way to build them. There's no rules for them, so I've sort of not had an opportunity really to build a Primaris Blood Angels army that I'd like to. So I sort of really wish I'd kept hold of the Firstborn Blood Angels, especially as Games Workshop have now come back around to the Firstborn and sort of given them a new lease of life with 2 wounds and things like that. So they are more viable now. And I had a lot of them, and they would have also been very useful in a 30k Blood Angels army too, which maybe not too bad now if we're getting new 30k models anyway. So But yeah, that's really the only army I've sold that I put a lot of time into. I painted. There was easily nearly over 2,500 points worth of Blood Angels that I'd painted and spent a lot of time painting.
It was a really nice army. Yeah. You had a Spartan and everything, didn't you?
Spartan, Leviathan, Dread. I had converted veterans. I had Assault Marines, regular tactical Marines, Rhinos, Bile Predators, Librarians, Champions, Apothecaries, things like that. Sanguinary Guard. I didn't have any Sanguinary Guard actually. But yeah, I wish I hadn't sold them. I think it's one thing selling a plastic army that you've built and then just not got around to painting, or you've enthusiasm for that army's died off after having built them or whatnot. But an army that you've painted, I think, just keep hold of it. I won't be selling a painted army again.
How about you, Andy? Have you got rid of any other armies that you regret selling?
I regret selling. No, not really. I mean, I miss playing the Nighthaunt, but I hated how I'd painted them, so I'm kind of.
Oh yeah.
Got rid of them.
Yeah.
I had a Rotigus, which I tried to copy the Games Workshop colour scheme and do like a beige, sort of skin tone to him. And when I put him like next to all my other Nurgle demons, it just didn't look right. So I sold him and bought another one and painted him like the rest of my army. And yeah, I was super happy with that because I kept on looking at it and just going, I hate that model.
Yeah.
So it's just time for me to get rid of it, sort of thing. But no, I don't think I've regretted getting rid of any of my armies, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll sell an army, I'll get rid of it, and I'll be like, oh, did I really want to do it? And then I'm like, well, I can't change my mind now, sort of thing. So it's like, okay, it's gone, sort of thing. But no, I wouldn't say massively.
Okay.
It's been jobs, but
that's good. Shake and Bone says, I sold so many pretty armies in the past. I had a complete cabinet of Cadia, a complete cabinet of Tau, 2 Orc armies and Space Marines as well. But I can paint way better nowadays, so I prefer to have something new and better. Today I might not sell the things, money is not so tight anymore, which was a concern that time. And that always happens as well, where unfortunately
you want to raise funds for a different project.
I used to quite regularly, because I used to paint more than play, so I'd regularly paint it up, stick it on eBay, and that'd fund the next project.
Yeah, well, selling all my sort of like stuff that I wasn't going to get any mileage out of, sort of thing, last year during lockdown, paid for 2 new army cases, and started. What did I start? Oh, the Bone Reapers as well, and bits and bobs like that. And so, like, I've sold them, and I've gotten use out of them by selling them. So. Yeah,
that's good. Like my first army I ever did was Wood Elves. We're talking like 4th, 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy, and sold them. I just thought it would have been nice to keep hold of some of those old, those original models that I painted.
Yeah.
I had Battlefleet Gothic stuff that I've sold, but like Andy said, that they went for silly money on eBay and managed to fund like other armies. So it's just one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, I've kept my Warhammer Fantasy Dwarf army, and I've kept it all on square bases and stuff.
I'm jealous of that. I put most of mine on. All the plastic stuff I rebased onto round bases. All my old metal stuff I've still got on the square bases. But yeah, that'll be cool. That's a good army to keep hold of, that is, Andy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more for nostalgia more than anything. That was like my first army that I ever fully painted, and it was when I sort of started going to events and stuff. I was just like, when Age of Sigmar came out, I was like, I'd rather just keep it on the shelf for a few years than sell it and lose it.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting that you bring up Battlefleet Gothic, Matt, because I've got upstairs a load of Battlefleet Gothic. I've got a massive Eldar Corsair fleet, which I sprayed black. Oh man, we're talking years and years, but this is when you can still buy it. I've even got some Forge World Battlefleet Gothic for the Eldar.
Oh yeah.
And I was only while I was on holiday. I've been on Facebook when I've been able to get onto the internet. There's been a guy that's been. I know this is a bit controversial, but he's been printing Eldar Titans for Adeptus Titanicus, and he's been painting them in the Imlock. Oh, thanks, got a brew. In the that service that is for you, isn't it? That's what every hobbyist needs. And I tend to
brews on tap.
Yeah. He's been painting them in a Imlock scheme. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. I can't wait for Games Workshop to release Eldar Titans. They're so going to get painted up in that scheme. And then I thought, oh, you know what? I might get all my Battlefleet Gothic out of a box and paint them all up as Imlock.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah.
Because I've got a lot. I've got tons of it. I mean, I probably got. I mean, it goes for silly money on eBay now. I would never sell it. Except I've got the Eldar Voidstalker, which was the Corsair battleship. I've got 4 of the Eldar cruisers, the Shadow Cruiser and the Eclipse, plus 2 of the Forge World, which were like the Solaris and Aurora, I believe, which were small, like light cruisers. And then on the frigates, which is where the Corsairs had tons of options, I've got Hellbores and Nightshades and Hemlocks. What else? Arcanite frigates. I must have about 20 frigates. So I've got a very sizable, and I've even got. Oh no, I haven't. I used to have. I sold these ones. I did sell. The Eldar had 2 Battlefleet Gothic fleets. They had the Corsair fleet, and they had and the Drukhari, which I never had. But they had the Wraith ships as well for the Craftworld Eldar.
Ships. I don't remember that.
Yeah. These were. They looked almost like Tyranid ships. They had a different aesthetic than the Corsairs. I preferred the Corsairs look, but the Wraith ships were your Craftworlders. And they had like the Uriel's flagship. I had that. Loads of the Wraith ships and Ghost ships and things, and they had the smaller frigates as well. But I did sell them on eBay. But I'm not kidding. I probably made nearly £500 selling them on eBay. That was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But
well,
I do
my Imperium collection, which is far more common than the Eldar, funded my Deathcore Krieg army. So yeah, I'm not surprised. And you know what? I love the Deathcore Krieg, and they get more use than some ships for a game that I haven't played for however many years. So
no, I think that was a good swap.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sure we'll see Gothic again with awesome new models at some point.
Yeah, we will.
And it'll probably start out as Heresy, and it'll just be, like they've done with Adeptus Titanicus. But there's the little part that said one day in the future there might be new plastic Eldar ships. We've got it coming in Aeronautica. I mean, we've heard about Aeronautica's new box for like 6 months, haven't we? But that's got Thunderhawk gunships and Eldar. So,
and what's cool as well is it's got the old Eldar stuff, the Nightwing, the Vampire, and the Phoenix. Yeah. Not even the new stuff that they got, the Crimson Exarch and the Crimson Hunter and the Hemlock, which is interesting.
So I'm really excited for that to come out when it eventually comes out.
Yeah.
Do you remember the preview seminar we did with the plastic Thunderhawk?
Yeah.
That still makes me laugh.
I do like Games Workshop's sense of humour with that stuff.
Yeah, that was very funny always.
Right, I believe I've got a little bit the wrong colour. So we'll do the inside of this, the beige, and then the outside is it's part of the trench coat. So cut that back in. But then we've got most of the base colours down. How are you guys getting on?
I'll let you go first, Joe.
In fact, I'll switch to your camera, Jay. Let me whack that on there.
Joe, so let me know if you can see this fella.
Oh yeah, he looks really dynamic.
So I've not had to cut up the leg so much this time. Just a slight change at the hip to make one leg stick out in front of the other, which is good. But because I've not cut any of the joints, I've had to mess about with the feet. So you can see this foot here is only half built currently.
Yeah.
Because I've had to chop the toes off and reposition them to make it look like he's sort of like stepping forward.
Yeah, and that's the part that makes the Adeptus Titanicus models really posable. The fact that those feet, kind of toes and pistons, are all separate pieces, which unfortunately you haven't got on that model. You've had to kind of like fudge it yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And you'll see as well, I've got a lot more work to do in this bit here, because what sits under here is a Terminator's bottom half. And normally these two pegs, if you can see them, are level because the Terminator's legs are static. But you can see here one is up and forward and one's back. So I'm going to have to cut the Terminator legs up as well to get them to fit over those pedals. Now, I actually cheated on this one, because with this one, if you can see, I cut this Terminator leg here at the knee and cut a whole chunk off at the knee to make it as if he's like, if he wasn't sitting in this sort of harness, he would be kneeling on one knee.
Yeah.
With this pose. And I detached the sort of pedals from, if you can see, they're supposed to go on these leg bits here.
Yeah.
But I had to detach them, otherwise he would have been like spread out doing the splits almost.
That's not a bad idea. Raise them up and just bring them forward.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to do the same on these. So they don't actually connect anymore to the leg itself, but I just, there's some clever wiring in there which relays the commands to the legs. It doesn't detract from the look of the model, I don't think.
You know what you could do, Jay? Bit of guitar string.
Yeah, some cables,
them back to the thing, and then it's like, pneumatic pistons or something, I don't know.
It's a good idea, yeah. So I think I'm going to have to do something similar in his. But the legs are the hardest bit. The next hardest bit will be the arms. So this guy sort of walking this way, I think what I'm going to try and have him doing is swinging both of his guns this way to the right. Yeah. So as he's walking forward, he's like sort of shooting to the right.
We've got that big void on the base as well, which kind of like looking that way.
Yeah.
Like the front left.
Yeah, here. Yeah. So he's going to be, I think, aiming his gun across himself down there. And then I've got to think about what weapon I give him. So he's going to have 2 guns. And it's whether he has the Thunderhammer, the sword, or 2 fists. With this guy, I mean, the sword is the best option from a rules point of view, but I think I might give him 2 fists. And get this guy as like a weapons platform, maybe. I mean, you can magnetize these weapons with a bit of if you're clever with them, I think. We'll see. Cool. The trick is getting him looking natural. I'd rather he look natural and good than have the best optimal weapon loadout.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they look really good, your converted dreadknights, and they look really nice. Switching over to you, Andy. And I just realised your name's the wrong way around in here. Doesn't matter. What is that? Are you painting some grots there?
Yeah, I'm painting some Gretchen.
Sweet.
Just getting some base colours on them at the minute. Just production lining them, basically. Started the stream by just undercoating them all with Death Guard Green. And then I've gone over and picked out, like you can see with the head, with like Mornfang Brown. Just going over all the other leather areas. I've done all the silver. So hopefully I'll be able to get all the base coats on them tonight, at which point I can just give them a wash.
There you go. You've got the most important unit ready for Wednesday then.
Well, yeah, exactly. So
I can't wait to set fire to all your Gretchen. I'm a Black Templars. I can just imagine you just sending waves and waves of Gretchen at me. What they call pyroblasters or whatever they are now. The big flamethrower guys toasting Gretchen, only for your knobs to come up behind them. Very cool.
Well,
I'm waiting for Matt to build and convert a Gret army. To be fair,
I still want to at some point. I honestly do. At the minute tonight, I've been working on these guys. So the Van Densts, so blocking in most of the base colours. It's a little bit flat, needs washing down, and it'll get brought up with the various layers. So it's just been.
They are nice models, aren't they?
They are really cool. So getting the base colour down here. I've got a few bits of the trench coat the wrong colour, so I just need to block those back in. And then start picking out the black. I think by the end of the stream that should be done. And then the faces, if this focuses at all, it's probably not going to focus too well there. But I need to kind of like highlight his hair, and then he's pretty much done. And then his daughter, she's pretty much there. Again, just need to highlight up her hair. Maybe a few kind of brighter highlights on her like nose and just above her eyes. But yeah, pretty happy with that so far. So yeah, slower progress than I thought I'd do tonight. But these guys need to look a bit special, don't they?
Yeah. Any progress is progress.
Yeah. Oh, and I've done a crossbow as well. Base colours down on that. So it's just something a bit different to paint, which is fun. So we're all off to Warhammer World on Wednesday. Dave's coming as well, and I think, like you say, Andy, I think it's the first time we've been in the same place for a long time.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the last time I saw Jay and Dave in person was this time last year.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you the pandemic, doesn't it? But, it's nice that we are slowly getting back to normal now. Events are starting to happen.
Yeah.
Went to the cinema last night to watch Shang-Chi.
Oh, is it good? How is it?
So, see, now whenever I feel like giving a review, I'm thinking of Dave's.
Well, you know what? In honor of Dave, based on Avengers Assemble being a 10 out of 10 and the best film ever made, where does Shang-Chi, is it?
Yeah, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Avengers Assemble is a 10 out of 10. Eh?
This
no, you don't need to stay.
Even
you don't.
Even Dave doesn't understand his system. You can have things that are over 10 out of 10 as well.
Yeah.
I would probably say it's a 13 out of 10 then.
Ooh, that's
wow,
pretty good.
Yeah, 13 out of 10.
Yeah,
Nice.
I went into it. The way I can best describe it is it was kind of like Ant-Man meets Black Panther.
Okay.
Without spoiling anything, it was. I went into it not really knowing anything about Shang-Chi or anything like that, and came out of it going, "That was awesome." It's again, I don't really want to spoil. I can't spoil anything. But yeah, it's
worth a watch then.
Yes, definitely worth a watch. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's just do that. Yeah.
Bizarrely, in October it comes out on Warhammer Plus. I wish it came out on Warhammer Plus. Disney Plus. It comes out, which I think there was a bit of a hoo-ha, wasn't there, with Scarlett Johansson suing them about the early access. So they've knocked that on the head, and it's out in cinema for 6 weeks, and then it's free to watch on Disney Plus. So that's pretty cool. Ooh, we have Luna owns Twitch now following. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, I apologies if we've diverted onto the Marvel podcast rather than Warhammer, but yeah, I really want to see that too. You're fairly indifferent to Marvel superhero films, aren't you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm not a Marvel super fan by any stretch. No, don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed Marvel films. I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok especially. I think it's brilliant. But then, the like I won't be running out to watch Shang-Chi, and I haven't watched Black Widow yet or anything like that. But yeah, it's. But I do. I'm not completely against comic book films. I love the Batman. The Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy was. I really enjoyed that.
This is I'm sure this exact same comment came up either on the podcast or the paint and stream last week, didn't it, Andy?
Yeah, I think so.
We were on about. I can't even remember what got us started on it, but I made the controversial statement that I'm not actually a fan of The Dark Knight Rises, and I think that Batman Begins is better.
Oh well, yeah. Well, there you go. There's always someone that's wrong, isn't there? So,
yeah.
I did watch Unbreakable while I was on holiday, which is a fantastic comic book film.
That the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good film.
And also, I watched what else was on, because obviously I didn't have Netflix while away, but we did have Freeview in the caravan late night. I don't watch normal TV, so it's interesting scrolling through to see what was on at 9 o'clock. We watched the Indiana Jones trilogy.
Oh right, okay, cool. The Mummy Returns, that's always on, isn't it?
No, we didn't find that one. Watched the Indiana Jones. We watched Unbreakable 300, which was really good. I love 300. And what was it now? It was like I can't think. My mind's gone blank. X-Men: Days of Future Past, which was brilliant.
Yeah, I think that was probably my favourite of the new X-Men films.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. We've fully turned into a superhero stream, though, haven't we?
I mean, I'm looking forward to the point in time where we can start talking about Warhammer films.
Oh,
You know?
one day. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got Warhammer Plus now. We know that they're making this live-action show as well. I wonder if that's. I assume it's going to be Warhammer Plus, but I wonder if they'll try and sell it to other networks and stuff as well.
It's getting to that time of year when Christmas time. I normally have a special week at Christmas where I watch.
Week. Well,
yeah, I look forward to it. I watch every year The Hobbit, followed by The Lord of the Rings.
Have you seen,
6
Jay,
films.
the Ultimate Edition of the entire Middle-earth saga is currently up for pre-order? All 6 films in 4K with a host of new extras.
Oh wow! This
Sadly,
seems like
no
a
new
Christmas
scenes
present.
though, because there's still some deleted scenes that we've never seen.
It's
But,
well, I mean, yeah, I watched the extended ones. I put them on. I've got the DVD. Oh no, Blu-rays. I've got the Blu-rays. I wasn't a massive fan of The Hobbit. I enjoyed The Hobbit, but it wasn't compared to Lord of the Rings. It was always it's okay. It's not as good as Lord of the Rings. But last year I watched the extended version of The Hobbit for the first time, all 3 extended editions, and I mean, the extended editions of Lord of the Rings are great for die-hard fans because there's loads of extras in there that's really, really cool. Any extra minute of Lord of the Rings you get is just fantastic. But I really thought the extended version of The Hobbit actually improved the films a lot.
Yeah, the third one takes an average film into a good film, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, that whole scene where they're on the sled going down the frozen river outside Erebor, I mean, that was incredible. Why did they take that from the film? I don't know.
Or even the bit where the elves shoot the arrows at the dwarfs and they fire with the spinning bits. I was like...
Swirly whirlies, what they're called, twirly whirlies, yeah.
Yeah, but that was amazing.
Yeah, so I now... Whereas before, it wasn't a chore to watch The Hobbit, because I always used to watch The Hobbit first and then put Lord of the Rings on afterwards. And Lord of the Rings was like the proper dessert to, The Hobbit. I used to love Lord of the Rings. But now, I actually look forward to watching the extended versions of The Hobbit. And then, every Christmas I have like a little ceremony. Amy rolls her eyes at me because she knows what's coming. And I love it.
I'll come round. We'll have a 20th anniversary Lord of the Rings spectacular, Jay.
Let's do it, Matt. It's a date.
I remember I lived in Crawley ages ago, and we went to Star Wars Celebration. I forget what year it was, but they had a big official kind of Star Wars convention in London, and they had Mark Hamill was there, Carrie Fisher was there. It was ace. So obviously, in the run up to this, we had to watch every Star Wars film back to back. We were delirious by the end of the weekend, but we had a great time. Considering we went to this convention straight after pretty much a full day of watching all the Star Wars films back to back.
Yeah, there's something special in it about watching them all like that. I don't know.
Especially we sat with friends and you're all kind of floating the film.
Magical almost.
It all gets a bit silly, but it's fun.
I'd love to go to the cinema again and watch all this again.
I wonder if they'll re-release it for the anniversary.
Oh, it would be so good. Maybe not
if they're selling the £200 4K Blu-ray box set.
Yeah, perhaps not.
Probably when you watch that instead, but I'd go see it at the cinema again. That'd be cool. Gracie says that's not controversial. Batman Begins is great. Yes, it is, and it's better than The Dark Knight Rises. Shaking Bone says I enjoy you talking about other things. Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, Batman Begins is good. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, but
Bane annoys me. Bane, his voice.
Oh no! Sorry, hang on a second. Sorry, Dark Knight. Right, you got Batman Begins.
Yep. Then the
What's
Dark Knight.
The Joker. The Dark Knight. Sorry. Right, I forgive you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Batman Begins is better than Dark Knight Rises. Sorry, I thought you were on about the Dark Knight, which is obviously the best one out of all three.
Obviously, Dark Knight is great. Dark Knight Rises is like boom.
Got you. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, no, I do like Batman Begins. It's very cool.
I wish I'd known this before I signed up.
you saying you like the Dark Knight Rises more, Andy?
I'm Gotham's Joker.
It just sounds ridiculous, doesn't he?
I think he sounds awesome.
I mean, there's some good scenes in that film. The plane bit's ace.
Yeah, the playing bit at the beginning is amazing.
I remember I went to see, I think it was Will Smith I Am Legend at the IMAX in London. And it was, they played that beginning bit of Dark Knight, the Joker robbing the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was also, it was so cool, so cool.
Was it better than the film you'd gone to see?
Oh, yeah, he was. It was better. I mean, I Am Legend was good, but yeah. Right, I should be back momentarily.
I haven't seen I Am Legend for a long time.
No, I think I've only watched I Am Legend once. That was about it.
I think it's the same for me as well.
Although they did an alternative ending, I think.
Did they?
Yeah, because I mean, the film's been out now for ages, so I don't think I'm really spoiling anything by that. But right at the end, there's the original ending. Will Smith dies in it. But they did an alternative ending where he survives.
Oh, have they done that to kind of keep people off the scent?
Yeah, well, I think we're supposed to be doing a second one.
Oh, right.
With Will Smith's character in it. So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. Huh. It's been a strange year for films, really. I mean, James Bond's now got a release date, like nearly 2 years after it was meant to come out.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was supposed to be end of September, but when I was at the cinema yesterday, it said October.
Oh, right.
All right. Yeah, but it comes out when it comes out, I suppose.
Yeah, be done when it's done.
Looks good, though.
Is June out or imminently out? You're a fan of June, aren't you, Jay?
June. Oh, June's October, isn't it? Yeah, there was a new trailer for that recently, which I watched the trailer and I was a bit disappointed in myself because the trailer was a very long trailer, and I'm just a bit worried now that, you know, a lot of the film I've seen because I know the story for June, so that bit's not going to be much of a surprise. But I watched the trailer and I feel like, oh, okay. I mean, it was awesome, but so we'll see. I am looking forward to June. I mean, June's one of those sort of universes which is sort of almost comparable in scale to Warhammer 40,000, isn't it? So
well, a lot of Warhammer 40k stuff was kind of inspired by it anyway, wasn't it? There's definite, the whole God Emperor thing.
There's quite a lot of good stuff coming out this year, though. Like at the cinema June, but then also on TV we've got The Witcher, second series of The Witcher coming at Christmas. So
I've still not watched that.
Season 1 of The Witcher.
What?
No, I've not watched The Witcher.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2?
Yeah.
Right, well, Matt, what we'll have to do then is we'll have to book 3 days because we're going to have to
watch The Witcher.
We're going to have to binge watch The Witcher as well before.
Yeah, but The Witcher, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It was cool. Did you see the interview with Henry Cavill a short while back?
Where he goes, I'm sorry, but that chandelier looks like a Blackstone fortress.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You might not get this, but this has been killing me since I said that.
I would love to see him do like something, even just a cameo on Warhammer Plus.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to approach him, haven't they, to do something? You would have thought.
I remember on Warhammer TV, Adam Troke was like, "If you're watching, just call us. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do."
Henry Cavill like reads the codexes out to you or something like that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Henry Cavill on for a battle report. Yeah, it would be cool. He's been taking some custodians, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's been taking custodians. Yeah.
Just gets to the Chaos Codex and he's like, "You don't need to listen to me read this because you're all heretics." And just close the book.
I wouldn't argue with him, to be fair.
No.
No, I did enjoy the Witcher TV series. I had high hopes for it, and I was a bit worried that it wouldn't live up to those hopes, but I really, really thought they did a cracking job. And you can tell that it really didn't have the budget yet, because obviously, it's the first season. If you look back on the first episodes of Game of Thrones, it suffered from the same sort of problem, that their production quality just increased as that series went along.
Yeah.
So I really hope that now, like season 2, after the success of season 1, they throw a bit more money at it. And I loved it as well. So I thought the fight season.
Throw a coin to your witchy, you could say.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally stole the joke off you, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say, it gave us one of the catchiest songs ever.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, even Amy loves The Witcher. I mean, I don't think it...
She probably watches it for different reasons than you, Jay, I imagine.
I know, yeah, Henry Cavill now, but...
Oh. I don't know, this has been fun, guys. It's it's like hanging out and painting in person, but remotely. Less bruise, though.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Got a drink next to me. Gotta stay hydrated, as they say.
Yeah.
So, Warhammer World on Wednesday then. So, obviously, we're doing a crusade, are we? So, we're going to be playing, hopefully get 3 games in or something each. One against every opponent, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the plan. Sorry, my camera's gone skew. Let me just try and fix that. Focus has gone a bit funky.
So, I've got my Grey Knights, obviously, which I'm going to try and take. But failing that, behind me, I dug out an Ultramarines 1,000 point army, and I've mixed it up a little bit, because I don't normally take the Primaris captain. I normally, in 1,000 point games, the Primaris chaplain is my go-to HQ choice, because he's a good unit to buff other units with his litanies. You can give him the Master of Sanctity upgrade, so that he can cast multiple litanies and put them on different units, and you're getting that +1 to hit, +1 to wound, extra attacks and things like that. But I thought, if we're doing a crusade, over the course of the day, I'm going to take a Primaris captain. And he's going to be leading this strike force. So I've got that down behind me. So I'm going to give all my squad's names, give my captain's name, my dreadnought a name, and try and tell a story over the course of the day.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I think I might do some prep work beforehand and work out what kind of battle plans we're going to play and get it all tied together narratively. I think it'd be fun.
I think so as
well.
We've
got two rival orc forces as well, haven't we? So there's going to be a bit of competition between the orcs.
What time does Warhammer World finish? Open or close?
I don't know, to be honest. On a Wednesday.
Because it would be really cool if we get a 4-player game in at the end of the day.
You know what? We could
Carnage.
I mean, it might be a bit of a squeeze. 3 games plus lunch and the inevitable wander around the museum and a big game at the end. But we can certainly try.
Yeah, I think at the minute, the last time I was there, opens at 10, shuts at 6, and they were doing that all throughout the week. But he used to stay open till about 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday.
He did, yeah.
We've been there till late playing games, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Back in the day.
We'll have to see then. We'll have to see. But I mean, on top of that, I do want to go into the shop, because I do have a bit of a shopping list of things I want to pick up.
What is on your shopping list then, Jay?
Well, number 1 on my shopping list is those Imperial Fist Praetors.
Oh, you're getting them. Oh, have you seen on Friday the Ultramarine ones are up for pre-order as well? And Argyle Tell.
Now, those Ultramarines ones, I mean, I've got a big 40k Ultramarines army. I do like the Ultramarines. And what put me onto the Ultramarines, because initially I was very dismissive of the Ultramarines. For years, I wasn't a big fan of the Ultramarines. But reading about Guilliman and the Ultramarines in the Horus Heresy series, they, up until the Siege of Terror, when the Siege of Terror books have come out, obviously, I think the Blood Angels, the Imperial Fist, the White Scars, the Custodians, they get a lot more focus in that series, obviously. And I'm enjoying reading about them in that series. Prior to that, it was the Ultramarines that I enjoyed the most in the whole series. The Mark of Calf, Betrayal, or Betrayer was it called? I just loved reading about the Ultramarines. I thought they were just really, really interesting and complete opposite of what I thought of the Ultramarines in 40k. And when we saw those Ultramarines Praetors revealed, if I didn't already have an Ultramarines army, they would be models that would make me start collecting an Ultramarines army, because I just thought they looked amazing. So I think I will pick them up, actually. But I'm thinking if we get a Horus Heresy box set, they're probably going to be painted yellow, I think. I think they're going to be yellow. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to do mine as word bearers, so I'll be picking up the new Argyle Tal he's called, isn't he?
Are you doing word Ultramarines? No, Dave. If Dave's doing Ultramarines, then we've got Ultramarines covered. If Dave's not doing Ultramarines, who knows? I might do them blue.
You might do him blue.
I don't know.
Those Praetors look really nice. But then, you've got the Imperial Fists as well.
Yeah, and I do like the Imperial Fist, and they're very similar to the Ultramarines, I guess, in the sort of type of army they are. And I do like Sigismund as a character. Those Imperial Fist Praetors are very cool. Yellow armor is very striking on the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, we've said previously, if Dave wants to get a box and isn't too keen on the painting them side, between us we could probably paint up a Legion.
Maybe that's the justification for picking up the Praetors, to paint them for Dave.
Yeah.
Could do that for his Christmas present for him, maybe.
You know what? That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then I don't need a whole army of Ultramarines. I just want to paint those two models. So I think Imperial Fist then is. So I'm going to be getting some Imperial Fist stuff from Forge World. So the Praetors certainly. I might pick up another Contemptor. I'm not sure yet, but I also want to pick up a few bits from my Blood Angels, because I do want to get the Blood Angels to 3,000 points. They're already at 2,000 points. I want to add some Javelin Land Speeders to just keep like the sort of swift sort of focus on that force. And then I need to decide what I'm doing with the remaining sort of infantry, whether I go for tactical marines or whether I just say, I've got to buy some assault marines and just get some assault marines. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the hard bit is we don't know the full extent of this heresy release, do we? We've seen leaked images of a box. That's not to say that there's a big release wave with it, with loads of new stuff. If there's new Mark 1 Rhinos, all my squads are getting transports, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with the Horus Heresy, whether it's a complete rules refresh, like you say, because it's not the easiest of systems to get into currently. You've got a lot of the different books. Then you've got the Rights of War.
You've got nearly 10, or I think there's 10 black books now, which are £80 each. So that's £800 just in supplements, plus the rule book, plus the core kind of Legion book.
Yeah, and it is quite. I find building lists in it is quite. I mean, we're not maybe 30k fans who've been playing it for a long time don't see there's much of a problem. But for me, where we've not played 30k really, jumping into it like you're looking at your Rights of War, you're looking at all limitations and restrictions on lists and the way you've got Master of the Legion, and I don't know, maybe it's because we're too used to 40k.
I mean, if I'm honest, I just take what looks cool and don't worry about tactics or anything like that.
I'm talking about just basic list building though, where you've got your console, for example. So you can go, what's a console? And there's tons of different types of upgrades for that console, Chaplain, Centurion, and all these other things that I've never even heard of that obviously have some 30k sort of the 30k units rather than 40k units. Yeah. So it's not the easiest of list building to get around, and I wonder whether that will be looked at or whether they'll keep that. We don't know, do we? But
yeah, I mean, I'd like it to move to something closer to AOS and 9th, but obviously we've got all these. It's whether they invalidate all those books, isn't it?
Yeah,
they don't want to because they're a big outlay, and that's why they've never changed that. Plus, I guess the system's a bit more complex, but it is essentially Space Marines versus Space Marines, so it adds a few more degrees of different things between units.
Yeah.
But then as soon as things that aren't Marines get introduced, it then goes a bit skew. If Custodies were a big problem when they came out, weren't they? And the Thousand Suns, because they were non-standard Space Marines. Yeah. With a game that's very much balanced around essentially the same units fighting each other. The other factions, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Either way, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely on board for playing some Horus Heresy.
Absolutely. Right, I think I've nearly got the base colours. What time are we on? 8:45. Nearly got the base colours down on these. Got some gold, got some Screamer pink to put down maybe. And then get some washes on these. And then good chunk of the way there. Grace says, did you know that in one of the Total War Warhammer 2 expansion, Creative Assembly made a High Elf Loremaster character called Cavill? There you go.
How did they?
Nice little nod there. What do we want? We want some Screamer Pink. Let's see if I can find some. Ooh. I had a bit of a paint replenishment the other week. You know, when you get some old paints that are getting a bit tatty, and you just think, oh, take advantage of the 10 pots for the price of 10 deal that they're doing in Games Workshop at the minute.
Oh, we still got that.
Still got it on, yeah. So I had a bit of a resupply. Since I was buying like 7 or so paints anyway, I thought, I may as well get a couple more and get the most expensive one.
Yeah, I might have to grab some of that when we go on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Preparation for the Black Templars.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. We'll probably talk about it on the podcast, won't we, following the show?
Yeah.
So I say that'll probably be the Stormcast and Uruk episode.
That'll be a big episode.
So maybe the episode after that. I mean, that's the problem though, with all the releases at the minute. Who knows? Maybe it'll be big releases going out.
Maybe we'll talk about it on the paint stream.
Yeah, you know what? That seems like a good place for it as well.
If you want to find out how well the Ultramarines do and how they defeat all their enemies on Wednesday, tune in on Sunday.
Yeah. And if Jay doesn't tune in, it's because the Ultramarines are battered by Orks, by Necrons, by whatever wants to take them on, really. Right, we've got that on there. I like it when you get to the last few kind of like base colours and it starts feeling like it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at that stage with these grots. I'm just doing the Rakov flesh, of which I'm doing like the tabards and stuff like that, you know, the little stuff. And then there's one grot who kind of looks like a sniper.
A sniper?
Yeah, a sniper.
That'll be right.
Oh, Andy, you haven't got a kill team, have you?
I haven't. No.
I was going to say, have you seen the stealth grot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the yeah.
He's got his hoodie kind of like zipped up and he's got like a mask on. I think you can build him with like night vision goggles or a diving mask. But then hanging from his belt, he's got these bright yellow flippers.
Yeah, he was good.
That's so good. He did really good in the game as well, didn't he, Jay?
Yeah, he was. He was superb.
Yeah, this sniper grot's crying out for a red bandana.
Amazing.
And then
I can't wait to play a bit more Kill Team.
Yeah, Kill Team was so good. Really, really enjoyed Kill Team. We've had 2 games now, Jay?
Yeah.
We need to get on that. There's so much stuff to play.
Yeah, no, it's a bit jam-packed, isn't it, now to the end of the year?
So,
especially with this double Age of Sigmar release coming up this week.
So games-wise, I think we need to have obviously Stormcast versus Uruks when Dave's back from his holiday will stream, and then that should lead us nicely into Orks versus Black Templars, hopefully. So we might have a slot in the schedule for another Kill Team battle. I still want to do some Adeptus Titanicus as well, Jay.
Oh yeah, well I've got my mana pull. That was what I painted during lockdown. Not used them.
Yeah. Let's do that. Maybe have a practice game and then we'll stream one. Have you ever played any Titanicus, Andy?
No. A friend of mine bought a load of stuff, and it was kind of like he always said, "Oh, I'll paint it up and we'll play a few tester games or whatever," but then never really painted it. So never played it.
I've painted my Legio Ignatum. I'm going to do a Mortis Force as well. So when they're done, I'll give you a game, Andy.
Yeah, that sounds
Show
fun,
you the ropes.
That's fine by me. I'm always up for a game.
Awesome. Wow. Shaking Bones says they're almost done as well on their Necromunda. I very nearly built some more Necromunda today as well. I'm keen to get a force done for every gang, so that for people who haven't got a Necromunda gang, we can get a couple of games on of that, because it's such a good game.
Yeah, I think this. Now that I've got like the Giants done, I don't really have to worry about getting an Age of Sigmar army done. I'm kind of. I'm going to try and get these Orks done. So I've got 1,000, like maybe 2,000 points of Orks.
Yeah.
And then next year, I kind of want. I mean, I want the world really, but I'd like to get some Chaos Space Marines done, so that when their Codex comes out, I've got some stuff to play with.
Yeah. Well, rumours are next year's Chaos Heavy according to Games Workshop as well.
Yeah, that got me far too excited. But yeah, I'd like to get some more of the specialist games done. Because I think in sort of like 10 models here and there, it's not that big of a deal. And it's a nice little palette cleanser.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like painting these guys today. It's just something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. And yeah, just mixes things up a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'd like to do some more of that sort of stuff.
I want to do some Middle Earth as well. Oh, we've said, I think, last week on the show.
Oh, yeah, I've got this guy here. That's what I was thinking about as well.
Ooh,
Picking
yeah.
up some Iron Hills Dwarfs.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a that isn't a cheap project, Jay.
No, I know. I may sit on that until we see if there's any plastic dwarfs coming at any point in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I've got some wood elves, the Merc wood elves to paint as well. I could always paint that. And I've got some Rivendell cavalry, but I do like those. I do like those Merc elf, the ranger type looking elves with the 2 daggers. They're really nice models.
Yeah, they are cool. If this supplement is you know, the Dale and Erebor versus the Easterlings, I do think that'd be a cool project for us to do, though.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, it's one of those where really we need to just hold fire and see.
That's it. Just wait and
isn't
see.
it? There's no point painting a load of stuff and then actually there's some cool stuff that comes out for it.
Exactly, which is why I think you know, there's enough coming out that we know is coming out this year to focus on, and then.
And Lord of the Rings isn't a massive army to have to like batch paint then either, is it? We can.
No, it's not.
Dip our toe in gently. I mean, I've still got my Dunland force that I painted over lockdown that I haven't played with.
Did you paint some Rohan as well?
Painted some Rohan, yeah. So we've got stuff we can do some Middle Earth with. I was tempted to pick up a new Saruman. I've got a Saruman I painted like years and years ago, but the new plastic one looks really nice.
Yeah. Well, funny you should say that. I was umming and ahhing about my wish list for going to Warhammer, and I want to pick up the Easterling Commanders set because I've got a box of Easterlings painted up so that I could ally them into my Mordor army.
Oh yeah, cool.
But then I didn't realise when I was reading it that you need a hero to lead the allied like contingent.
Yeah.
So I need to pick up the Eastern Commander set. I was very tempted to pick up some of the fighting Urukai and do like an assault on Helm's Deep.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Cool. That and I need to. One of my hobby resolutions for the year is to get 289 models painted, which is one more than last year.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one.
So if I paint 2 boxes of that, which is 40 models, that's a decent. Well, let's just put it this way: I've not done so well so far.
If it makes you feel any better, I think we've all failed at most of our hobby resolutions as well.
For a change.
Oh, we've got Manadork in the chat. Hey guys, really enjoyed the Grey Knights Codex review. The book review made me go from 6 to midnight nearly instantly. That's cool. Jay, you did the Grey Knight review, didn't you?
Yeah, the Grey Knight book surprised me because I think it was quite different than the 8th edition Grey Knights. They went in a bit of a different direction. But I actually think the Grey Knights Codex is very, very sort of competitive. I think it's quite hard to use. There's lots of it's almost like an Eldar book in that
Bit of
you
a
have
finesse
to.
army, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's no obvious sort of power pieces in there. There's no, Khorne Bloodthirster or Primarch or Mortarion or anything like that. But I think there's a lot of combos and synergies in the book, which seem really, really fun to sort of exploit as well. So I think they're going to be a fun army to use and a fun army to fight against as well. So I was really happy with the direction they took the Grey Knights in.
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it, Manadork, we have got a battle report on the channel.
Oh yeah.
If I had my hands free, I'd link it now, but unfortunately I don't.
Let me find it for you.
Oh yeah, awesome! If you could whack it in the chat on YouTube, Manadork is. Yeah, I mean, if you just look in our previous streams, it should still be on the top of the list, really.
It was against the Thousand Suns.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was kind of manning the cameras and commentating, but I really enjoyed it. I wasn't even playing it. Manadork says, I love the new playstyle. Get in, get them dead. Have to play smart. Mid game is the place. Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
You I mean, it got a bit silly at the end where you.
Oh yeah.
It was a fun game, wasn't it? But yeah, it was. There was moments in that game, Jay, where I thought you'd lost it early on, but then you managed to hang on and somehow pulled a win out of the bag, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. They weathered a lot of firepower, and there are things. Obviously, it was a small game. We had a limited selection of models, but there are things that you can do to sort of help you get across the board and weather that long-range firepower from some armies. There's a really cool piece of war gear you can put onto a Nemesis Dreadknight, actually, which when they're chosen as a target for a ranged attack, you basically teleport them. So you remove them from the board and put them somewhere else on the board using normal deep strike rules. So you can hide them out of line of sight and things like that. To get them into position, you can put them 9 inches away from a unit, and then in your next turn, charge that unit, move in and charge the unit. But yeah, then once they actually get to that sort of short range where their storm bolters get the full rapid fire effect, and you can start putting down those mortal wounds, because they've got a lot of mortal wound output in the psychic phase and in the combat phase. In the right tide with the right chaplain buffs and psychic powers, you can be doing some crazy damage, mortal wounds and damage with your melee weapons, which all got buffed. They are damage 2 now. All of your Marines get the extra attack, the extra wound. It's a really, really cool army. So yeah, I really like using it, and I'm hoping I can get this Dread Knight done. If I can get this Dread Knight done, the Grey Knights will be going on Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, well, I'm bringing Speed Freaks. Andy, you're bringing a more kind of foot-based Orc army, aren't you? Though you've got some vehicles, haven't you? You've got a battle wagon and a truck.
Yeah, I've got a battle wagon and a truck, but I've also got some killer cans and some mega knobs.
I love killer cans.
What clan are you taking, Andy?
This I haven't decided yet.
Ooh.
So we were obviously like chatting in our chat and talking about lists and stuff, and I didn't realise that the list that I'd written for 1,000 points was actually using the points.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back and have a look and see what I've actually got, sort of thing. But I think it would probably just be like, I have to take 2 big shooters off my battle wagon, sort of thing, or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be many massive changes that you need to do to make it legal.
No. But I still need to pick like artifacts and relics and warlord traits and culture and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm going all in on the Evil Sons with all of the bits that basically make my war boss on his trike even better. So yeah. But gents, I believe we are coming up to the very end of the stream now. Can you believe 2 hours have flown by?
Yeah.
Nice.
Before we finish, we have a last look at what everyone's been working on. Who wants to start off?
I'll go.
Switch over to your camera. So what have you managed to achieve, Andy?
I've got all of the base coats done on my grots. There we go.
Nice.
So, there's some bullets on the back of this one grot that I've got to paint brass, and then all the base coats are done. So I might try and do the washes tonight when we finish. And, then these guys are pretty much done. Like, I don't really want to try I don't really want to spend that much time painting grot.
Yeah.
Not when I've got the bigger stuff to paint, but I think what I'll do is I'll probably dry brush. So I sprayed the skin Death Guard green. I'm going to give it a wash of the Athonian camo shade, and then I'm going to dry brush it Nurgling green, which is what I've done for all my noble demons. And I think that will probably be it for the Gretchen.
Cool.
And then just base them. But again, at the minute, I'm not 100% sure how I want to base them. And then the only other thing I've managed to do is base coat the Mega Knobs with some lead Belcher paint where the spray paint sort of like missed out.
Yeah.
So
that's the most annoying thing in the world, isn't it? When your base coat misses.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll probably pick up another can of lead Belcher and go Warhammer World, so that way I can sort of just give them a bit of a touch up or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nowadays, I tend to when I use a primer from Games Workshop, I tend to paint over it again with the colour out the pot.
Yeah.
I do that a lot now with the Ultramarines, with the Grey Knights.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
But that's it for me.
Cool. Jay, what are you? I'm confused by my own buttons on my stream deck here. It's reversed. It's Andy, but it's actually Jay. Cool. He's looking really good.
Yeah. So obviously this bit detaches at the moment. So I'm quite happy with the bottom half. I like it. I'm gonna have to, like I say, mess about with these paddles, but I've got the foot looking quite natural, as if he's like taking a step forward. And he's got a nice lean to him as well, which I didn't plan, but it's come out quite nice. So you can sort of see.
Yeah.
So now I can just play around with where I want to position this sort of top half, based on what the arms are doing. So this is the right arm here, which I'm just sort of starting to piece together. I'm not sure whether this arm's going to have the flamer on it or the Gatling cannon, and whether it's going to be sort of leaning across, like I say, to try and, as if he's going to be flaming some sort of, maybe flaming some Gretchen here that are standing at the bottom here.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Awesome.
Whoa, did you say?
Well, I have been working on these fellas. So the Van Densts, the new witch hunters introduced in the Broken Realms. Base colours are very nearly down. Just need to do the flame on his torch. Other than that, he's pretty much base coated. So get some washes on him and then start building up those colours. And
Nice one.
same with her as well. And then the crossbow. I've realised I missed her hands off the crossbow, so just need to go in with black on them. That can all be washed, and then a case of then finishing off the heads, which they don't want to focus on here. You'll see some finished pictures when they're up. But yeah, that's I'm pretty happy with that for 2 hours progress tonight. Get them finished off tomorrow maybe before the podcast, and then Stormcast for the rest of the week. Then I think ready for the book to go up on pre-order.
Yeah, I'm so excited for these new Age of Sigmar battle tomes.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they add, kind of path to glory wise as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is us for another week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you're new to the channel, why not follow or subscribe? We are both on YouTube and on Twitch. Stick Brews and Brews in Google, you find it that way, I'm sure. We also have a weekly podcast that goes out every Wednesday, I believe. And all the normal reviews and articles and fun stuff over on spruesandbrews.com. So hope you join us again next weekend for the next stream. Hopefully we'll sneak in a game this weekend as well, now that people are back. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you later, and we hope you have a good week. See you later, guys.